Hey, how's it going everyone? This is the Anime Man. So if you follow me on Twitter then you probably know, but about a week ago when they announced the Fullmetal Alchemist live action movie, I decided to not make a video about it, even though a lot of you guys were in fact requesting to hear my opinion on the matter. The only reason why I didn't end up making a video of it was because I didn't really have anything to add on to that piece of news. And a video of me saying something along the lines of, yeah, this film's gonna suck. Like and subscribe wouldn't really have sufficed as a legitimate opinion piece. I mean, even now, I don't really have a whole lot of things that I can really talk about. Considering the casting choice, I didn't really see too many major problems with it. And with so little information to go off of it, I think it's kind of unfair to start bashing the shit out of the sculpture while it's still in the clay mold. But this official piece of news that just dropped literally 2 or 3 hours before the recording of this video right here made me drop everything. Now you can probably see in the title what it's all about, and if you can read the title, 99% of you are probably hoping this is a bad fucking dream. The nightmare is very real, ladies and gentlemen. Japan is making a live-action JoJo film. I've left a link to the original Japanese article in the description below, but if you can't read it or you can't be fucked to read it, then here's how the story goes. A few years ago, there were some rumors floating around on the internet that they were in fact going to make a live-action JoJo film. But since there wasn't any kind of confirmation or announcement about those rumors, it just kind of disappeared and everybody just labeled them as mere rumors. Until today. That's right, because they just announced that a live-action JoJo's Bizarre Adventure film is going to drop sometime in 2018. And I am fucking fuming. Now, originally they were going to cast Arashi's Matsumoto Jun to play the lead role of Kujo Jotaro, which to me is a casting choice that makes a lot of sense. Going off the original manga series, we can see that author Araki Hirohiko drew a lot of inspirations from comics and definitely Western-looking characters, as most, if not all, characters that do come out in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures have a very Western-like feature to them. In other words, not many people will look at characters from JoJo and think, oh yeah, they're Japanese. Even though that's been the subject of debate quite a bit recently, but I digress. And since Matsumoto Jun has a kind of Western look to a uniquely Japanese face, it kind of makes a lot of sense that this kind of person, especially him being a sophisticated actor, would be the perfect casting choice. But nope, instead of that perfect casting choice, they decided to grab the recently popular Yamazaki Kento instead. Because according to the JoJo live action movie staff, quote, in the last year, Yamazaki has starred in films such as No Longer Heroine, Orange, Okami Shounen to Kurouji, and TV dramas such as the recent Death Note, all of which are originally based off manga series of the same name. He's popular with the female audience and can pull off pretty much every role he's put in, and so we figured he would be perfect to play the main role of a series that has been said to be impossible to turn into a decent live action film. Impossible to turn into a decent live action film, huh? Hey, guess what? It's still fucking impossible. If, for example's sake, turning the Fullmetal Alchemist series into a live-action movie is the equivalent to trying to pass a string through the head of a needle in the middle of a cyclone, turning JoJo's Bizarre Adventure into a decent live-action film is all of that while doing it in a pool of lava. In other words, don't even bother trying, because you're gonna end up crashing and burning in the process. And the way you crash and burn is gonna be ugly. And how piss poor of an excuse is it to end up casting an actor as the main role of a movie just because he managed to pull off every other role that he's been in? I don't think they understand how to cast characters properly. Concerning looks and the personality of the actor himself, as well as his physical build, Matsumoto Jun was a perfect casting choice for a character like Kujo Jotaro. But instead they went with one of the most girliest looking dudes in the Japanese entertainment business. I'm sorry, Yamazaki Kento, no fucking offense, but you're the kind of actor that needs to stay in romance shoujo live action films like Okami Shoujo to Kurouji, and not a battle heavy hairs on your chest action film like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. By the way, did I mention that they're actually turning part 3 of the original series into a movie and not part 1 or 2? Because according yet again to the super geniuses of the JoJo live action movie staff, they said, quote, part 3 doesn't have any flashy heroines to take the spotlight, as well as being completely battle centric. So you decided to cast the most girly looking actor in the most battle heavy arc? The previous statement follows along with, quote, "We're planning to feature many other handsome cast members to fight alongside in the film, but concerning the casting, we're looking closely into our choices in the hopes of getting the approval of longtime fans of the original series." Well, that's good. At least they're looking closely into their casting Oh, wait, never mind. You already fucked up, bro. So after reading that quote and the rest of the article, I decided to venture out into the Japanese forums and other kinds of sites like that to see exactly how these long-running fans are taking these so-called casting choices. And well, I'm sure you can guess what the responses were like. ほんまやめてくれよ。明らかジョジョ世代ではないんやが、ジョジョ好きやし、このままだとポケモンとか実写化あるで。身長178センチでくっそ弱そうな状態やな。CG でモリモリにしてくれるんやろ。なんで原作者も実写化 OK しちゃうかな。名作を怪我してほしくないんや。日本の映画界は無能しかおらんのか。Yeah, and mind you, those were some of the more nicer comments. Seriously though, I've said this time and time again in multiple videos on this channel, but the Japanese film industry just happens to be climbing to this new level of desperate. They clearly didn't learn any mistakes or lessons from previous pieces of shit like the Attack on Titan movie, the Terraformers movie, or the Parasite movie. I don't have any problems with turning shoujo or romance series like Okami Shoujo the Kuroji because guess what? They're actually possible. Japan already suffers with their insufferably bad CG, so why do they go for films that you can't really pull off without any CG? So using these latest two live action films, which are more than likely going to be absolute pieces of horse shit, I want to relay this message to you, Japanese film industry. Just why? Just don't push yourselves, guys. I'm saying it for your benefit. And if by a freak miracle these films happen to be pretty decent or even better, good, I'll fucking buy you a drink, I don't know. Bottom line is learn from your past mistakes and don't try to outdo yourselves when they're clearly out of your fucking league. Because trust me, being in the middle of the anime and manga community, I can tell you right now, Japanese film industry, JoJo fans are the next level of cancerous. And by cancerous, I mean they will fucking destroy you if you say anything bad or potentially try to fuck up anything JoJo related. Because as an original reader of the JoJo manga, I don't want to see a classic series like this to be ruined by what is most likely going to be a really bad movie. And same goes with FMA as well. It's such a classic anime with so many hardcore fans, and I'm just seeing you guys just crashing and burning because of this film. But hey, we got a few years to hype ourselves up for it, so let's hype ourselves up for it, shall we? Prepare your pitchforks. Guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Fullmetal Alchemist and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure being turned into a live action film? What do you think about each of the movie's casting choices, and what do you think are some ways that the Japanese film industry can potentially make these kinds of films good? Anyways guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and favorite if you